And we're back with part 2 of the Melbourne Punters show, or as it's known.
Had a bit of sustenance, we're right to go.
What about the punters?
What about the punters? Well, our punters just back Jezebel, so we've had a collect, we're on the way back. So hopefully, if we're now in the end of What About the Punters, we can back another winner.
And if you've got something for What About the Punters, include the Punter Show, One to Follow, or me, or DK, or Ralph, and then put the hashtag WATP. There's been a couple of little things that have come my way about What About the Punters, including a tweet that came in from Mark Dunphy. He asked for $46 on Underso yesterday there at Monday there at Flemington, and they re-offered him the stake of $45. Now, we've been in the industry for a while. I'm pretty sure that's what's known as a G-up, because it can't be anything else, Mark. Like they probably would have been happy to take the other dollar off you, but that's just someone who's probably doing bet referrals, who's had a long day, who'd rather be out on the drink with his mates playing 2-up. And he's just decided to be a little bit of a
risk
pain.
Managers, mate. Risk managers. Leave us out.
Who's John Kelson?
He's a good judge from over there in South Australia. Yeah,
he's got a clever punter and an owner too. Yeah. I think he owned the Against Tidy Profit won the Paul Lincoln Cup this year.
I just follow him on Twitter, right?
Oh,
I don't know who he is.
He's a good man.
No, he's good.
But he puts out some interesting. Anyway, we're having a bit of a conversation about the Echuca race, and he chimes in, and then I looked at his profile. And he's got a quote here.
The Brad Bishop quote, isn't it?
Yes. It's trendy to sook about the corporates, but punters have never had a better go. BradBishopRacing.com.
Yeah.
And I said to him, please tell me that was true. He said he sent it out on a tweet, and he said we're going to try and get a T-shirt made up of.
Yeah.
Okay, well...
Yeah, that's
can
right.
I say to Racing Victoria, no, I was just like, here I go again. Here goes Potts again. I heard him talking on Jury Duty on Monday about how turnovers up.
Yeah.
Right, so the figures that come in. Well, you might all pat yourself in the back, but it's as bad as it could be. You know what turnovers up? Because we're fucking Australians and we love betting.
Yeah.
That's it, full stop. Okay? The problem, there are so many roadblocks in the way of betting, but we find a way because we're all sick. Anyway.
Now, who brought that up? Was it the person who's on the Racing Victoria payroll, or the person on the Racing Victoria payroll, or the person on the Melbourne Racing Club payroll who's sponsored by Ladbrokes? Which one of those brought it up?
Look,
anyway, no. What I'm saying is,
I know
we hear. Time I haven't listened to radio for a year.
I've got to say, Ralph, I know before I don't want to interrupt you. You go on with your thing.
Yeah.
Those guys on that show, it's worth listening to.
Right.
They're having a go.
Oh,
right?
I'm not here.
Particularly, I don't know Sam Swinnell, but I'm a fan, Sam. Like, you're doing a great job, mate.
He would be a punter, wouldn't he? And
he's a punter.
He's not on the payroll.
And he's
no agendas. He just says it like it is.
No,
so.
And unlike people,
but even Matt Stewart, who I've been a critic of, has a go on that. I don't always agree with him, but he's
having more of a go.
He's having more of a go.
Why he hasn't followed up that Danny O'Brien story about what Terry Bailey knew? It was a back page in the Herald Sun.
All that shit, man. There's so many things.
Just one thing on Brad Bishop. I've seen him at the races a little bit lately. Brad, if you can get on with the corporates, I'll be coming to see you the next time I see you on track, because you'll be coming right arm over the wicket from the Vulture Street end from here on in.
I'll tell you what, Brad, I'll give you my details. You go and open up an account in my name, mate, and see how you go. You can, like, it's a reverse bowl. You know what I mean?
Googling.
Yeah, Brad Bishop. So it'd be Darren Potter bowling for Brad Bishop. Let's see how you go.
But what's the record of barrier 4 in the last 37 years at race 6 o'clock? Where I was going with that was, as far as all these turnovers up. The turnovers up and never been better placed. People are betting more and people are doing this more and the figures are good and the betting on the dingoes on Thursday nights is sensational. This is where I say cut through all that bullshit, because there's a lot of bullshit spoken. We speak it, everyone speaks it. There's a lot of bullshit spoken. When prize money goes up significantly, I'll believe all their bullshit.
Yeah.
But it hasn't for years, I dare say, and for this simple reason. The interest in racing in the general population has never been lower.
Correct.
You know why? Because we put on wall-to-wall shit.
And that was
all
one
we're doing
point
is putting more and more on.
Well, that was one thing they did raise on Jury Duty, is whether we can trim some of it back, because if we're only paying 3% for some of this other content, we're copying the rest, like Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, how many times a week do they race?
Twice.
Well, they're struggling over there.
Can I give an example of why turnover is as low as it possibly could be? I'll give you just one example, and I could sit here for an hour giving examples, right? But a good friend of the show is a good friend of mine, Michael Thomas. He's just had his horse that he owns and bred, Happy Clapper, won second in the Doncaster and third in the Queen Elizabeth. Michael's got a bank at the moment, ready to punt, and because Michael, was tagged 15 years ago by certain corporates, because he had some good information about it in the South Coast. He finds it very hard to bet, and his words to me is, Potts, there's no such thing as parole with these guys.
No.
They give you life, it's life, no parole.
No. It's
in fairness, I admire anyone who gives someone life for life. I do admire that.
But if I'm a corporate bookmaker, there's Michael. Michael's a keen punter. Yeah. It's never easy to win. Yeah. Michael could do his ass in the next 6 months. Yeah. If you fucking bet him, you could win a fortune off him, right? You'd have to be pretty good. Right, but you could. It's up to you. But what you're doing is you're allowing a guy that's got plenty of money to bet with, that loves betting, loves racing, just escape, and he can't. I'm sure he's, Sorry, anyway, I probably shouldn't have shelved you there, MT. But anyway.
So the reason there's so much. The reason
He'll be right. We're all good.
The reason there's so much content is the corporates are Racing Victoria's advertiser, they pay, and the breeders make the decisions. So in the stud book and the page, when it comes out, this mare's shied so many more winners than it previously had, because they put on so many fucking more races.
Well, I'll give you a perfect example of that, Ralphie. The final picnic meeting of the season that I went to was at Healesville. John Sadler turned up there with 2 runners at Healesville picnics. They put up this horse. It was one of them was in a maiden. They put it up. One bookie put it up at $1.04. Couple $1.08, $1.10, couple of $1.20. It had run 5th in one of the Wednesday midweek maidens, and there'd been 3 subsequent winners come out of that race. I've grabbed one of the blokes who I know who's a stable hand and is reasonably well connected. I said, what the bloody hell is this thing doing here? He goes, the mare goes to the sales next Thursday. 2 out of the 3 that have raced have all won, and this one hasn't. So it's here for a kill.
There you go. Yeah.
Well,
no, but on the other side of the page is people actually want to spend money and say, well, we better pay more for this yearling because one of its offspring just won it. Where was it?
That was at Healesville.
No, the mare's had 5 runners for 5 winners.
It's 3 to the track for 3 winners.
Scoping type.
They're not going to tell you when they're rooting it out where they are.
I remember one day I was doing the form and I said, Dick, I've just come across this abbreviation in the database. Where's this at? WSICK or something?
Oh, no, SWICK.
Oh, Swiss Creek.
Royal Swiss Creek.
Where the fuck is Swiss Creek?
That's school pick up on the off chance.
Ralphie's now departing the back bar here, so we'll see him next time.
Thanks, mate. Go the D's.
And he's up and about because of the demons. So, boys, there was another thing that upset some of the punters. I was at Ballarat. Was that Tuesday or Wednesday week ago? It was the race that Ellie Factor won. It was race 3. And there was a late scratching in the race. And this is what upsets some of the punters. It was reasonably well back. There was a few blokes I know that were on it at various outlets. So I backed it with an on-course bookie, so I copped the 22 cent deduction. Another bloke there, he was betting with Tatsbet, he copped 16 cents. Another bloke who backed it with Sportsbet, he copped 25. Surely this is something via the levy that they're all that the Racing Victoria are charging the corporates that they can bring in to let's just get a standard set of rules. If you want to bet on the product, here's the rules. There's a minimum bet. Here's the deduction scale.
Here they are.
Yep, there they are. You want to bet on it? Fine. Go ahead. But it's frustrating for the people because if you backed it with Sportsbet rather than backing it with Tats, you felt like you've been absolutely ripped off because they've taken an extra 9 cents off you.
One thing about at least Sportsbet, at least you know where you stand before the race.
Yep.
They've got a show deductions thing at the bottom of the page that you can click on where they put them in before the race. For all the others, you got. Well, I was going to get smashed for deduction today, but I got no idea how much before the race. I had no idea where I could stand or what I could save. Didn't know what price I was on at.
Tats show them. Tats you bet, whatever.
Yep.
And Tab.
No, TAB, no.
Yeah.
I couldn't find them today. Before the race?
Yeah, there's a button you have to click, it's down the bottom. Right down the bottom. But you're right though, DK. The vast majority of corporates don't.
Yeah.
The vast majority don't. And like, honestly, I'm not going to blame the corporates.
But I was going to get him for 40 cents today.
Yeah, 40 cents.
I was Sportsbet with 33.
Yeah.
The tab was 40.
Yeah.
Like but this is the thing. Like, it should just be clear for everyone.
Yeah.
Let's just have
free for all.
But they're all betting different prices in this confetti pre-post early market.
Yeah.
So those we were 360 that horse, they were 440.
Yeah.
You can't apply the same deduction because.
Well, I think this is where the governing body's really got to get involved and tighten.
The worst situation is, sorry jumping, the worst situation, like this is why it's important racing Victoria, this is why it's important, okay? Because you're allowing them to bet for 3 days before the race, at times the favourite might be the first horse scratched, then there's a new favourite, then it's scratched, particularly when you allow them to scratch after scratchings, okay? We had a race at Sandown a few months ago where 3 different favourites were scratched.
Yeah.
Okay? It is mathematically absolutely incorrect to add those deductions.
Yeah.
But that's what they did, and they know it's incorrect. Dominic Burns proved it to them, and it was possible to back the winner of that race and lose money.
And that should never be allowed to happen.
There were 3 horses in that race, you could back the winner and lose.
So it's a bit shameful that that's been happening. Boys, the update of how the products have been going. Hasn't been going too bad.
Well, no, look, to be really fair, Jumping, we've had a couple of, we had 5 winning weeks in a row with the DK and pot stuff. Then we had a very small losing week 2 weeks ago, then we lost 12 units last week.
Okay.
So the last 2 weeks we've been finding winners, but just not,
Yeah.
not enough. And so it hasn't been a disaster, but we're working very hard to do better. But we'll be right.
And
we're still operating at 14% profit on turnover. It's 115 units ahead for the 12 weeks we've been running. So that's a good result.
And as you said, I think in one of the articles they put up was, this is a tricky time of year because you've got a lot of things that are coming to the end of preps. You've got stuff that's first up and coming from here and there, and the weather's still dry. So the form over the next few weeks can be like...
It's a really good point you make, Joe, because that's particularly relevant to the Saturday meetings.
Yeah.
And we've actually been doing really well in the midweek stuff, where it's not such a big issue. We've just, honestly, the last 3 Saturdays, all the stuff I've sent out for the DK pot stuff's been terrible. The midweek stuff, it's been a mix of mine and DKs, has been pretty good. But, we'll chip our way through it. My other stuff, the sets, 150 units ahead for the year, 5.8% profit on turnover, and that's below what I'm aiming for. For example, I should have checked exactly, but I think between July and December, that 6-month period last year, we won 350 units, which is about where I'm aiming for over a 6-month period, and we're 150 over 4 months.
Yeah.
4 months.
So,
we're going okay.
But the thing is, that's the thing. You are going to go okay, and once the form levels out of it in probably 3 or 4 weeks' time, then hopefully, because I remember the winter period last year, as I've said a couple of times, the tracks in the city were still like good 4s, soft 5s, like they were still really good surfaces, and the form was all there, and you found a heap of winners during that period.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to winter. I hope we get enough rain. I want these tracks to be testing. I think we've got a real edge when the tracks are testing. When they're kind, it's a bit, you can get more of a variance of results, as we're seeing today at Sandown.
Now, I've got another one for What About the Punters here, and I just want to get everyone's opinion here, so get in touch with it if you've got an opinion. Boys, as far as I'm concerned, these Thursday and Friday night meetings are a bit of a waste of time. Are they really necessary? Do we need 2 of them to start with? Do we need 2 night meetings a week at this time of year?
Well, look, I think it's, whether you're a punter, a jockey, a trainer, a strapper,
Bookie,
it's very draining, you know what I mean? Like, what we're experiencing at the moment is a really long Thursday and a really long Friday, and it's leaving you very flat for Saturday. I mean, I keep winning on these Thursday and Friday night meetings, so I actually quite like them, but I don't think you can race all day Thursday.
No.
And then all night, anyway.
Yeah, I've got a young family. I mean, I'm scared to miss anything.
Yeah.
When I'm sitting there at 7:30 at night trying to back a winner at Pakenham, I should be with the kids and things like that. So, they disappeared, it would worry me.
Yeah, well, I've been having to go out there, and just with the traffic to get out there, I'm having to leave at 2:30 to get there to make sure that I'm there before the traffic to have everything. And when I get there, there's not a terrible amount of setup to do, but you just have to be there to make sure you're not going to get the traffic out there, because it's just horrendous.
I'd really like to see the turnover figures between the Pakenham turf track meetings, which were twilights, still nights I suppose, and the synthetic. I'd imagine the synthetic meetings are not really.
Well,
the punters really aren't interested, are they?
I think especially on the Thursday, like I've had some other feedback as well. I've got my youngest brother's still running around having a kick playing footy at the old boys where we went to school, and he said, well, the punters in the footy club love it because they can come off the track on a Thursday night and get into the rooms, and then they throw 78 on and the quaddy legs are still on. So from that point of view, it's catering to that crowd, but I just reckon it starts to, like, the twilights I could wear, because you knew you were finished by 7:30 or something, and then you could go and still sit down and have tea and spend a little bit of time, especially if you've got young kids, with the kids before they go to bed. So I think that's just something, I see what Racing Victoria are trying to do, where they're trying to put an honest product into the night time, but I just reckon start them an hour and a half earlier than that, or 2 hours earlier, and start them right in the heart of it, and then push through, because it is too hard.
Yeah, you're having a lot of, on a Thursday and a Friday, you're having days where there's 16 and 17 races. But there was 9 at Cranbourne the other week, with the picnic race added in.
That was a splendid spectacle, though.
Win it one again.
They actually went.
Yes.
I tell you what, they put some of the pros together. They ran better time in that race, despite the slow last section, than they did.
Well, the winner came out and won again, and early on Saturday. The benchmark 58 or something.
Yeah, not surprised.
Form was alright.
And I'll give a shout out to a real up and coming young jockey, Reece Goodwin, who rode the second horse, who went round one horse for the whole race. It just wasn't quite good enough under the big race, big weight. So
They gave every possible.
yeah, so it just shows that there isn't a huge gap, as you say, DK. Like, he was able to go to Moe on Saturday and win the 58. So it shows that the gap's not
The
particularly.
surprising part about that race, Juppy, is that the winner started 20-1.
Yes.
The picnic expert should have found that.
Well, I found
It was the youngest horse in the race.
He was off the bad one. That was the only thing. Which
Yeah.
I did find
second in the Swifts Creek Cup or something, didn't he?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. There's no actual vision of the Swift Scope.
Of course.
So they kept that right to themselves.
Right.
No, but I did find the two things that
You did.
that firmed right up.
Completely nailed the market. You just,
So
like
it was
like
just finding the
usual,
winner. It's like how we do. We find the things that firm, but
Yeah.
it doesn't necessarily equate to winners. Well, boys, I think we better mention it. I'm heading off. I'm doing the big trip. I'm going to Geelong on Sunday on the way to my 5 days down at Warrnambool. Hopefully the weather holds up. It'd be nice if it was actually
It
dry.
was cold. It was one of the coldest days I put in last year on a Wednesday, whenever it was. It was freezing. But I just saw the early forecast was 25 and sunny for Tuesday. So
Well, that's a
the
start.
next few days. But
So it is a great meeting.
good drinking weather. That's all we want.
Yeah, so if anyone's coming down, I'll be there working off the fence. So come and mention that you watch the show, and I'll give you a turn of the roll of the board. It should be a great week down there. There'll be some great racing. Like he'll have an army of them. Yeah, Smurden, and hopefully the track holds up, and hopefully if it is dry, that helps the track hold up a bit.
For the past month, no matter which meeting you have been doing,
Yeah,
it's just been populated full of horses that are getting ready for Warrnambool. Like half the field,
Yeah.
the horses just there for a,
That's why Peter Ellis is so important to their team.
Yeah.
Down there. If you're down there, you see him out there after every race with the 2 jockeys or 3 jockeys that Weir's got in the following race, to walking them around the track, discussing it. And that's why when it gets to Cup Day on the last day, he walks around with Brad and they just stay 8 wide the trip. It's the best ground, it doesn't matter. Against the outside fence in the home straight and win by 4 lengths. Yeah.
Well, I'll have me 10 hat on there, trying not to get stripped out, because they normally find 1 or 2 to back, especially the local boys. They don't mind. But you also know that some of these young blokes that were the ex-formers, the Bowmans and the Mitch Friedmans, and these guys are going to have runners there.
Well.
And these are going to be some of the ones that we're really going to have
watch.
watch. So, so there won't be a traditional Melbourne Punter show next week, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw the camera in the bag, and hopefully I'll be round up 1 or 2 boys over the 3 days, and we'll do a bit of a review / preview at the end of each of the days, reviewing the betting action and what happened on the track on that day, and if we've got time, a bit of a look forward to what's going to happen the day after. So
outstanding, Joe.
So that'll sort
I'll
of
be a viewer. I'll be watching that.
So that'll keep us ticking over while we're not around next week. Boys, you got a horse to follow?
So just while we're on that subject, I worked right through Christmas, haven't had a day off since. I can't remember. But I'm going to have a week off next week, just the midweek. So it just means that for the midweek subscribers, there'll be no set in the midweek next week. So,
but will there be any DK and pot stuff though? You might find 1 or 2 across the week, but we'll see how we go. As you say, DK, it is very track dependent and weather dependent. It is hard to tip early.
At 10 o'clock and the races on at 2 o'clock.
Yeah.
I think we'll save the DK pot stuff till there'll be a Friday night meeting, which will probably find something, and next Saturday. There'll probably be no midweeks next week.
You've got a horse to follow, boys.
Oh,
I've got a horse. I missed him on the run through in the May. I didn't back him because he drew the wide barrier and he was back at Bendigo horse called Silver Stratum and Darren Weirs.
Yeah.
And it was a big win. It was a big run before that at Tring. Then he went to town in that race against Burton and whatnot, Loyalty Man the other day. Was heavily backed and ran really, really well again. So he's one who's going to elevate. And maybe one for Warrnambool while we're talking about Mitch Freedman and our man Jay Fry, Vanilla Gold.
Oh yeah.
She was last at Terang on that on pace day, Terang Cup day.
Yeah.
Just charged to the line. It was a really good return. So you could see her in a 1400 or maybe even further maiden at Warrnambool maybe next week.
There was a good 2-year-old at run at Terang, Oregon Day.
It's in.
It's in Saturday.
Yeah. You put a good rap on, I think, Bryce.
Yeah.
On the track work show last night.
Okay.
You'll have to deal with the Mick Kent first starter without division.
What?
Yeah. Like,
What about the punters?
if there is what about the punters, I'm about to send strongly worded emails to the Cranbourne Turf Club. This has gone on long enough. They even threw in the real nice, absolute no lube today by putting bar plates on it to just really screw us into it. I mean, it's just not on. It's not hard to fix. It's not going to cost you a fortune. Cranbourne Turf Club sorted out. This is absolute nonsense.
Well, Racing Victoria sorted it out. I've sent them an email saying, can you please let me know, Racing Victoria, what date, what colours, what heat, Mick Kent's first starter that's in on Saturday, it's called Vanquish, what day it jumped out, okay? Because it's race 5 at Caulfield on Saturday. What am I supposed to do? Send out a set with a big hole in it? You know what I mean? Like today I had to send out for race 1. It's bad enough in race 1, okay? Here's the horse we're tipping. What was it called?
Perception of art or whatever.
Art of Perception.
Perception, yeah.
Okay? I had to put in the neutral category. This horse I've not seen.
Yeah.
But all we could do is assess it in the mounting yard and the betting. And of course, it's 7-2, pays 2-1 across the totes.
Absolutely.
With bar plates on.
Yeah.
And knocks us off.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's bad enough on a Wednesday in town. It happens every other day out wide. But it's Saturday, and if your job is to schedule races to promote turnover, to maximise turnover, why would you put a 2-year-old race with 3 first starters as race 5 at Caulfield, and then one of them is trained by Mick Kent, who will have done everything he can to hide it? I mean, I can't have words for how filthy I am, and like the amount of people that won't bet in that race. There's just no words for it. It's just a complete. The person that made that decision.
They've essentially put over an hour gap in, haven't they? Because that race is just a complete non-event.
Yeah, and all the people who send out sets are going to.
Yeah.
And
I can
make up a price for it. Or
that's just a signal saying, punters, up yours. We do not care about you at all. We're putting a race in the middle of a card where you can't do the form.
And I assume that it's just some genius in the office that's looked at it and thought, oh well, we'll put it. We won't put it as a leg of the early quaddie. We won't put it as a leg of the main quaddie. We'll just stick it in the middle. So now it's finished up with race 5, and it's nonsense. Well, I've got my little one to follow. I actually hung around at Sandown the other day and watched the 2 jumps races, and I don't know how they're going to beat Ginger Boy in the Gullywood. He absolutely flew around there and looked sparkling. And there's
Weary, perfect. Jay Allen, jock informed jock. There's
isn't he flying?
Jay Allen.
And no, that he'll probably be riding. He'll have a great idea of the track because he'll be giddy from going around if he's going around in some of these flat races.
He'll have a heap of flat rides down there. Just don't worry about it. He's come back from result. He must have his weight good, but he'll have a heap of flat rides as well. He's a good rider.
Talking about Mick Kent, here he is. We're about to have a race, and Iron Spider's just been, back beyond its full. One win, 11 starts. I mean, I can accept that because we know all about it. We have to make our decision, and that's okay. That's fine. But
well, we've had
it's the usual thing. Horse to fight. I always want to mention a race at Moonee Valley. Must have been back in March. It was won by Baltimore.
Yep.
Okay. He first up for the Eldon Zara camp from Brent Stanley. Jumped to the front and just ran him into the ground. Katie just went.
Let it run.
So bang, here we go. Won the race by 3 lengths. 3 lengths back to third. Horse has beaten 8, 10, and 12 lengths. Okay. There's been 10 subsequent runs from that race. Baltimore's not where he appeared. I don't know if he's gone to Hong Kong or where he's gone. Out of those 10 subsequent runs, there have been 5 winners and 5 place getters. So the horse that was beaten 10 lengths was Griddle on. It's won twice. The horse that was beaten, 12 lengths it was beaten. Also was beaten 10
Lady
lengths.
Sleepwire.
Oh, no, he was 4th. Sorry. Lady Sleepwire, she's 1 and ran 2nd. Tantat Chargers 1, 2.
Australia's from 2nd
Two
twice.
good placings.
2 good placings.
I mean, it's just the hottest form race you'd ever want to lay your eyes on. So, I don't know what's happened to Voldemort, but if he ever reappears, he's a serious racehorse.
We might even, if he has gone to Hong Kong, we might be able to back him over there.
Might be on the same plane as Velastar. Remember, he accepted and got scratched, which looks like it was either something went wrong or they bought him and sent him over.
Well, boys, we've had a bit of the Nathan Snows about us today. We've had a bit of hashtag Angry Punter. So we're going to have a couple more cleansing ales to try and get the bit of taste out of our mouths.
Let's let the camera run for the duration of this race. There's 0 minutes to go. They're moving in the gates.
What are we tipping?
We're pulling Iron Spider's tail.
What are you on?
We're on Pendles for the Weir Camp, B. Allen.
B. Allen, Boy Wonder, yeah.
Boy Wonder, you know, it's very solid in the market, that's good. And we're on Staten.
Staten, you were on it the other day, I think, when it won, weren't you?
I heard an interesting stat about B. Allen yesterday. He might be in for a big winner, do you think, DK? He's only had only had 3 city winners so far, so he's got plenty of his city claimed out, right?
3. No, he rode another one just then.
There he is in the
nose roll. 4.
Yeah, and he's got a couple of horses.
He's got this horse perfectly positioned, B. Allen, one out, one back, basically. There's 3 joint leaders currently.
Who's on Pendles, Brad? Oh, no, it's B. Allen on Pendles, is it? Calidus, so Westmead Kensel's back. Where else would it be?
Yeah, where else would it be?
So we're about at the 1,000 metre mark now.
Brad's on the favourite.
What's he?
Iron Spider.
Oh, he's on Iron Spider.
Well, he's on, no excuses here with B. Allen. He's
no, he's 3 wide. That's him.
With Staten. Who's riding Staten? Jake Ballas. We're obviously not race callers. We've got Jake Ballas riding a beautiful race on Staten. Pendles is okay. I don't mind that. 3 wide position's okay.
Yeah, Brad's on his ginger. He's giving him the card up.
You know, they're together.
No, he's not.
Well, don't get pushed in. B. Allen's on the nose roll. That's Arctic Song and the Blinkers. And now they're together. The 3 chances are together.
And they're swinging around the home bend now.
Come on, Benny. Don't go into the cul-de-sac, Benny.
Jeez, he's riding it confidently.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? Oh, don't, Benny.
Now he's asked for an effort, but Brad's got a head in front of him.
And what's this thing going to the inside?
That's Calidaz.
No, the 2 coming through.
Probably Rivers up on the inside. What's it?
Aurum Spirit. You've got to be kidding.
He's flying, that horse. Isn't he a bloody 8-year-old now or something? No good.
There we go. Can we cut that part out?
Another losing race. You better cut that out, Chubby. Yeah. One of winners there.
Just one other thing that came up on Twitter earlier today. Poor old Andrew Mallion. He's another jockey that's been in good form lately. He's been.
I can't catch him.
Well, he's been punching around some of those dispersal sale candidates in the blue jackets at the bush meetings. He's been doing his best, but he got hurt at track week this morning, so he'll be in a moon boot for a little while. So get well soon, Andy. All the best. All right, punters. Well, I'm going to go down and try and survive Warrnambool, and we'll speak to you at some stage soon.
See you, punters.